And welcome to RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking, presented by MW Productions. Race number 2, Pheonix International Raceway, the 1 mile length of track. Tonight, in the booth with me, Evan Pasoko. I'm Michael Keaton, and alongside on pit road tonight, Kyle Taraska. Also pushing the buttons for us in the production studios is MW Michael Woolley. And Evan, welcome to Pheonix.
Yeah, it's good to be back, and an interesting track and very different from what we saw last week, obviously with the season opener at the Super Speedway Daytona. A mile-length track. We're going 125 laps, so 200 kilometers is the distance for this evening's event. Again, track only a mile long. It almost races like a short track. You can call it that if you want to. The only thing different about this than some people might notice from watching on TV, this is the old configuration of PRR.
And of course, you talked about last week and coming off of Daytona, a high win for Chad Cole, leading 30 laps, the most, and he'd go on to win it. Eric Brundy's in dramatic fashion finishing second. Chad Schilling pulling off the third place finish. Matt Lacrosse ended up finishing fourth in that 21 machine, and fifth for a good solid top 5 finish for the year to start off right on the right foot, Scott Stencil.
Yeah, Jay Horton was able to come home with a P6 finish. Thomas George coming home in the number 7 spot as well. Brandon Peterson coming home in position number 8. Jonathan Cadell coming home in 9th, and then Mike Montesi rounding out the top 10. None of those guys 6 through 10 led a lap, but they were all within 0.4 of a second of race leader Chad Cole.
And of course, you know, not much different in this here other than we got a tie, actually a two-way tie for second. Chad Cole leading the point standings currently as is, 1 race in. Chad Schilling and Eric Brundy's tied for that second spot, Evan. Fourth belongs to, I guess you could call it third, Matt Lacrosse. Scott Stencil rounding out the top 5 in points.
Yeah, obviously same as the finishing results. Jay Horton in the 6th spot, 10 points back, 11 points back. Thomas George in position number 7. Brandon Peterson's in 8th right now, 12 points back. 13 back is Jonathan Cadell in 9th place rather, and Mike Montesi got around out the top 10, 14 back from the championship standings leader Chad Cole up front.
And remember, Evan, and the fact that this year's rule changes with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, Chad Cole's automatically into the points championship as long as he does maintain that top 30 in points. So we can go all the way down here to where Red McBride is in 17th, or where Scott Brotherton is in 20th, or where Aaron Grosskopf sits 19th in points, although not able to make tonight's race into the qual run. But Aaron still has a chance. If he wins the race, he's in as long as he can finish in the top 30. So it's really any man's game, and that's what I like about this new point standings, Evan.
Yeah, they're doing the same as what is happening over on the NASCAR Cup side of things, and like the real racing, I think it's also going to benefit what we get to see in the racing action that we watch, and that is the fact that they're going to be going for that win. You mentioned you could be sitting 29th going into Homestead, get a win, and next thing, or rather not Homestead, but rather going into Richmond and, you know, get a win. Next thing you know, you're in the chase. You need that win. You need to maintain top 30 in points. Chad Cole, I don't think he's going to have any issue with that for sure, but it is going to improve the racing, and there is those races, 1 or 2, that we do see a, quote, surprise winner, you know, somebody that's consistently top 10, top 15s, get that win, and it could really change up the championship picture when it comes down to it. So I think it's really going to make for a great race, especially at these tracks, including Pheonix, a mile and under. It's going to be real fun.
Yeah, and speaking of getting that surprise winner, I believe Pheonix is really going to hold that tonight. I talked with Catfish Mark Bratcher before the race a little bit, and he said, look, it's not who is going to be the fastest at this track tonight. It's going to be who can stay out of trouble the most. And to that, I want to bring in Kyle Taraska down on pit road for us tonight. Kyle, the crew chiefs, the pit crew, they're already being talked and gamed up, if you will, about tonight at Pheonix International Raceway. Tell us about what everyone's thinking strategy-wise.
Good evening, gentlemen, and good evening, race fans. Here, standing on pit road, watching the end of practice here. Keaton asked about the strategy for tonight. This track, as Evan talked about earlier, this is the old surface for Pheonix. It is not the new surface. It's very abrasive, worn out in the desert. Tires are a key tonight. Expect many 4-tire changes. Don't really expect any 2-tire changes, except for maybe if we get a 10-lap run towards the end of the race to get some track position. As worn out as this surface is, it is still very difficult to pass here. Very difficult to complete the pass, especially off the exit of the corner if you are on the inside, lacking a lot of grip. So 4 tires will be the way to go tonight, packing it with fuel to make it to the end. It's a 125-lap race tonight. Should be able to make this race on 1 pit stop with the fuel load, but we will see what happens. Back to you guys up in the booth.
And Evan, remember, this is not a 36-week race or season. This is a 32-week season, and basically you've got 22 races to get it done in. And then, as you mentioned, going in to Richmond, this is your last chance. And then the chase starts at Chicago. Then we'll go to New Hampshire and so on until we get to that final race, the one that everybody loves, the Homestead, Miami 180 at 120 laps at Homestead for the Chase 10 race.
And that's going to be where the top 4 actually reset themselves. So that's going to be one of the favorite races for sure. But Pheonix, we've been talking about, this is the old surface. So that dog leg out of back straightaway, there's no asphalt down there. There's still grass, and it has not been extended in this build of the track. So it's still pushed in, or rather did not get pushed out, the older surface, so older pavement on this racetrack. And you're not going to be able to throw it down there and try to make up time down the back straightaway. And I was watching these guys during the practice, the warm-up session, try to get going. And this track is hard to drive, especially coming off the corners. So it is going to be hard to pass, but I also think it's going to be real racy.
It really is, and while qualifying's still underway here, I want to throw out the quickest so far. CJ LeVere in that 4 car, 26.5, only about, let's see, somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 drivers only putting down a 26.5. Other than that, Evan, 26.6s and on down to all the way to where Lester sits at 27.1, 36 fastest on the track.
Yeah, and also the fastest driver in the practice session was that championship leader, Chad Cole, coming off the championship last year, and also the Icebreaker Winter Series Championship, getting the win of the season opener at Daytona, fastest in practice. Talked to him just before qual started. He said he's going to start for the back of this field, is not going to take a qual time, so possibly one of the fastest cars on track, the 8 machine, going to be starting way back.
And that will be fun to watch, and we're going to go real quick where Kyle's at on pit road. Kyle? CJ LeVere kind of happy down there after putting that 26.5 down.
Yeah, LeVere's looking really good right now. He ran that 5.05, but Brundy's is right there in the 94. A lot of guys in the 5s here. Again, the times are really on top of each other. The top 17 are within 0.2 of a second of each other out of the 43-car field. Pretty outstanding numbers so far. One of the things we have to keep an eye on, which I didn't mention earlier, is the weather. Looks like a very overcast day here in the desert, something that these teams and drivers are not used to. It could become the great equalizer here, and we'll find out in 125 laps.
And after this, Omo, and then we'll go down trackside to the National Anthem. You're watching RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. And what a beautiful rendition of the national anthem set here for Pheonix International Raceway, where the qualifying has been completed, and the man on the pole, the number 4 man, C.J. LeVere to the outside right, the 94 of Eric Bundy's.
Jose Gonzalez going to be taking the 26 off the grid, row in the 3rd spot, row 2, and outside him, Bobby Terrell in the 9.
Row 3 is the 5th fastest car, Guy Snyder to his outside, Brett McBride.
Matt Lacrosse at the 21 machine going to be rolling off 7th, 8th, belonging to the 43 of Stefan Marinak.
Jonathan Cadell in the 11 rolls off 9th. This is Glenn Campbell.
Got Stenzel in the 42 rolling off 11th, and rounding out row 6, the 2 machine of RJ Williams in 12th.
Row 7, the 48 of Finn Linden to his outside, the 68 machine of Scott Simley.
Steve Gottschalk's going to be on the inside of row 8, the 91 machine going to be starting in 15th, and 16th belonging to the 83 of Jay Horton.
17th quickest tonight at Pheonix, Thomas J. George. The 66 rolls off beside him, that's Brian Harvey.
Eric Arnold in the 31 machine going to be rolling off 19th, and a Davey Nuke rounding out the top 20, 41 and Nathan Little.
Mark Bratcher rolls off 21st tonight in the 17. The 3 belongs to Scott Brotherton, he's starting 22nd.
Jason W. White's number 30 machine going to be rolling off in 23rd, 24th, and 22 of John Milwain.
Ed Williams Jr. rolls off in the 25th spot tonight. Chad Schilling in the 35 is 26th.
Dave Lanz at the 33 going to be rolling off P27, and 84 of Jimmy North in 28th.
New Series ARCA driver Joey Katina rolls off 29th night, and John Abbott, the pilot, rolls off 30th.
Nathan Bauer's going to roll the 03 off in the 31st position, 32nd belonging to the 5 of Douglas Wyatt.
Adam Roberts in the 88 starting 33rd to his outside, J. Randall Watkins.
Jose Malbrand in a 53 machine going to be rolling off in 35th position, 36th belonging to the 43 of Mike Montesi.
Last to take qual time tonight is the 37th, Jason Lester to his outside. Last week's winner at Daytona, Chad Cole.
Brendan Mercer and the Gary Mercer trucking machine in the 29 car going to be starting in 39th, and rounding out the top 40, the 78 of Brandon Peterson.
And 41st, going to roll off, is going to be the 36 of Rich Jett. Outside him, John Wilco.
At the back of the bus, it is going to be 98 Stephen Herring going to be coming from the back of the pack. He's starting 43rd and rounding out your field.
And folks, that is 43 hungry drivers looking for that race their way in to the championship here at the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking and presented by MW Productions. And Evan, that pace car going to take that famous left-hand turn down pit road, and C.J. LeVere not going to wait. He's going to get to the green early.
Yeah, he took off. It's going to be a battle for the number 2 spot. 26, Jose Gonzalez can't get to the inside of Eric Bundy. He's going to be side-by-side for 4 with the 9 machine. Bobby Terrell on the outside lane. 27 to Snyder on the inside down the back.
And this is where it is so critical, guys, where you start the race, the green flag, you got the fresh Goodyears on the car, you're going through 1 and 2 wide open, 3 and 4 pretty much getting up to full speed. This is where the money's made as they complete lap 1.
Yeah, 43 machine off speed. That is Stefan Marinak. He's able to hang on to it, but he is going to drop from inside the top 10. Actually started on pit road, so hope the strategy call by that team. 43 machine going to be at the back of the pack after taking maybe a safe move starting from the pit lane.
And just to show you where the leader's at, coming out of turn 4 here now, Marinak going into turn 2. So that's just how close he is to going a lap down. And as the field continues to run green flag racing here, seems to be holding up pretty good out here at Pheonix so far tonight, Evan.
Yeah, and it was real racy up there for the number 4 spot on the restart. Guy Snyder was going at it with Bobby Terrell. Bobby Terrell in the Joey Gittino racing machine, the 9 machine on the outside lane, made a little bit of contact with Guy Snyder, slipped back a little bit, so Snyder in 27 machine, we find him in the 4th spot, and Terrell back in position number 6, single file throughout the top 20.
Looking back here in the 9th position where the 44 car of Glenn Campbell runs, he was under attack by Scott Stencil just for a second. That would have been your first double side racing there in the top 10, Evan, but now that's just kind of fanned back out as your single file exiting turn 4, and I think we'll see that a lot tonight. I think we'll see single file racing for a little bit as Stencil now works again on the outside here in 2.
Beautifully. They're going to continue to work on each other. And 42 machinist Scott Stenzel, he's currently sitting in the 10th position. But yeah, definitely 125 laps, 125 miles, equaling to 200 kilometers for the distance of this race. And it is a fair amount of laps for the track like this. The lap times that they are running just underneath of 30 seconds right now as race leader CJ LeVere has just crossed the start-finish line to take lap number 6. It is a long race. These guys can go anywhere from 65 to 75 laps on a fuel run in these machines. So much like Daytona, however, it's a little bit easier to do it at a racetrack like this, is that they want to get a green flag lap in, log some laps, and then start to build their strategy until we get to that ending portion of the race where it always seems like cautions group everybody back up for a shootout to the finish. But right now, CJ LeVere, he's loving it up front, guys, in the 4 machine, up to now a half of a second lead and slowly pulling away even more in the 94 Brundies in P2.
Yeah, and how about CJ LeVere's teammate back in 7th at Lacrosse, starting 7th. Excuse me, he's in 5th now. He started 7th in the race, but he's in now 5th, cracked the top 5. So 2 teammates, part of that Fearless Racing group up front here, running pretty strong. Oh, wreck. We got a wreck backstretch here. Just saw a car loop around into the wall here. It looked like the 31 of Eric Arnold running 21st position, Evan. And I think he's just going to do a little solo spin coming off too. He taps the wall, and I think the rest is going to be history for the Navy Duke.
And it's really going to show you once we get the replay up here the difference that this old configuration does. If that was the newer one, he'd probably be able to hang on. He clipped the wall, turned that thing to the right, locked it up to see a puff of smoke come out of the back of the Navy Nuke machine, but he clips the curbing, gets in the air, nearly goes over, goes head on into the inside wall, sideways, back up in front of the track. And Chad Cole in the 8 machine, the 45 machine, I mean, these guys on the outside lane, including that 88 car, what a piece of driving by these guys. And if we can get it on board, we definitely need to see those guys on the outside lane. But that was wicked, them squeezing by on that outside wall. They're able to avoid it under a first yellow of the night.
Breaking news, let's go down to Kyle Taraska. He's got word on the 8 car of Chad Cole.
Yeah, guys, big trouble as you saw on the backstretch. Chad Cole looks like he's going to be done for today. Major damage when he came down pit road, smoking from the tailpipes, never a good sign. Chad Cole looks to be done for today here at Pheonix International Raceway.
Yeah, and Evan, he was at the orange car up there that you saw just braze the wall ever so slightly when he was trying to get past the 31 car. And I think he just hit that wall in the wrong spot, and that engine's toast.
Yeah, I mean, there was cars in front of him and behind him that did the exact same thing to avoid that incident, and that is going out to the top lane. However, the 8 machine, having the left front of that machine clip Eric Arnold's machine, and almost a little bit of netcode, you could say, but about half a second later is when the damage registered on the front of that machine and causing the damage to the engine of Chad Cole. And a very uncharacteristic mistake from him and his team as the lights go up atop the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car is that he is going to get very, very poor finish right now, sitting dead last one lap down in 43rd spot. Good news for him is that with the new chase format, not that he's going to need it because he's very, very consistent in this series, but is the fact that he's already locked into that chase. So tough break nonetheless for Ada Chad Cole. I'm sure he was going to be looking for a W, but it could have been worse.
Yeah, that's a real tough there. Obviously, coming into tonight, I can imagine the feeling that Chad Cole's going through right now. You know, coming in tonight, leading the points, and then 8 laps into the race, engine's gone. Can't even go out there like Eric Arnold. At least is going to be able to go out there and ride for a little bit. But for the second time tonight, Fearless Racing Chevy, CJ LeVere, the orange, blue, and white and black car, going to lead us to the green flag.
And another great start up at the front of the field. LeVere's able to get around side by side from P2. Jose Gonzalez on the inside lane, try to get around at 94. Eric Brundy's right up against that wall. 94's got to run into the dog leg side by side still for that second position. Now the 3 and 4. 94 on the outside lane is going to get it. Can he clear the 26? Yes, he does.
Now 27, Guy Snyder. That's the lime green Chevy that you see up top. Using that high side lane here at Pheonix, Evan. Oh, a little touch there nearly almost by the 21 car of Matt Lacrosse. Had to let out the throttle to keep from getting in the guy.
And that also caused a tangle with Bobby Terrell. Terrell had to check up so that he didn't get into those guys, and he's going to lose a couple spots, and it is side-by-side for the number 3 position, and it's going to be Guy Snyder in that bright number 27 Menards machine on the outside lane, going to now move up into the top 3 and shuffle Jose Gonzalez and his number 26 ITS Racing Chevrolet back and now into the 4th spot.
Let's take you back here to 12th spot, 10th, where there's a good battle on the racetrack. 91 Steve Gottschalk under attack by Nathan Little's 41 car. Also, Jay Horton there in the 83. 3 wide coming into turn 4. That was Cadell and Brian Harvey pushing the 3 wide action at Pheonix as the 41 stuck upside. Outside, no help at all, the 41 car of Nathan Little.
With these guys real race, the 11 machine is going to get a big run on the 66 of Harvey. Does he make a move? He's going to stay in line. So we'll jump back to the battle behind these guys. 44 machine of Glenn Campbell and 14 of Joey Jatina are side by side, and the 44 is able to get around him. So 14 machine is going to lose that spot. 44 of Campbell now going to move up into 17th as still more side by side back behind them for around the 20th spot.
Yeah, and that 20th spot belongs to Mike Montesi in the 45 car, the 17. Fish Bratcher behind him in that Ford Fusion. He's got the 33 of David Lanza to the outside looking out. Trying to get a position, cracking the top 20. David Lanza, 33 car. Started tonight's race at 27th, move him up 5. We're 15 in.
There's a big group of cars right now. Back around the 25th spot, 2 wide at least, 3-4 rows deep, and it all starts with the 45 machine and the 17 going at it side by side. Mike Montesi on the outside lane, 17 of Bratcher on the inside, 33 to get a look to the inside. That's David Lanza, and the Amp Energy machine going to go side by side as 17 of Bratcher able to pull away and take sole position of that 20th spot. So now it's going to be a battle for 21st, and advantage is to the 33 of Lanza in the 1 as the 45 of Montesi trying to get some done on the top.
And the 4th, CJ LeBaire continues the lead, but the race is back here, like Evan said, in the back, in the mid-pack here, where Brennan Mercer runs. In the 29 car and 26 spot under attack by the low Chevy of Kevin Linden. Also, the 78 Ford of Brandon Peterson is there, who had a great run at Daytona last week, as now he'll go side by side going into turns 1.
They're still going at it, and this is a big group of cars, and now a little bit of side-by-side up inside the top 10, so we'll take a moment to mention that 68 machine is Scott Simley trying to get around the 9 of Bobby Terrell on the outside lane, trying to get something happening, and Simley in the 68 to try to advance into the top 10. He's going to get sideways off the corner, 1 machine of Thomas George to the outside lane, and it is going to make it side-by-side for P10. Simley with a small advantage, and then side-by-side behind them as well, with the 11 machine of Cadell trying to challenge Steve Gottschalk on the inside lane.
And while these guys continue to race green flag conditions, we're going to go down to Kyle Tarasca, who's finally caught up with last week's winner and points leader, Chad Cole. Kyle?
Down here in the garage area, just got out of the infield down the center with Chad Cole. Highest of highs last week, we talked about the lowest of lows this week. Some trouble for you there on the backstretch in Pheonix.
Yeah, I didn't take a qualifying lap, and I kind of knew that I kind of want to have some fun, get to know some of the guys, more guys, and see how they race, and kind of knew that was a chance I was going to take, starting from the back, and guys were calling out, there's a wreck on the back. I just, I didn't see it and didn't have enough time to do anything about it. Just hate it for the heaviest paint shop guys.
You said you didn't qualify for the race. Did that have anything to do with your strategy after winning a race last week at Daytona?
Yeah, I mean, with the new chase system, you're with the win, and you've got to be top 30 in points to be in the chase. So just trying to have a little fun with the guys, get to know some of the newer folks too. I knew that was the risk I was going to take by doing that, and unfortunately, we only made it 6 laps tonight.
Well, unfortunately, a tough break here for Chad Cole after winning the season opening event at Daytona. Guys, he's going to finish last in the event today. Officially done for today, Chad Cole. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thank you very much, and of course that interview brought by MW Productions, part of Michael Woolley, who's pushing those buttons for us tonight here at Pheonix, under the somewhat cloudy forecast conditions here, as Kyle mentioned earlier. Evan, green flag still running here with CJ LeBaire taking a nice little cut to the lead out front.
Yeah, he's sitting right now pretty much where he was when that first caution flew. That is right now with a 6/10 of a second lead over Eric Grundy's 94 machine, who's in second. Then it's almost another second back to Guy Snyder in a 27 machine sitting in third. So top two trying to stretch away from this field a little bit as LeVere takes 24 of 125 laps, so 102 to go. And again, these guys building and try to work at a long green flag run. Nobody came down the pit lane under that first yellow as far as our leaders are concerned. So again, they can make it to about 65, 75 laps in this event before they're forced to come down the pit lane. You were talking about the conditions for this evening's race. Again, it is overcast, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, slight winds to the northwest at 7 miles an hour, relative humidity 22%. So pretty average weather conditions out here at Phoenix International Raceway in the desert, except for those clouds maybe cooling down the racetrack just a little bit.
Yeah, and talking about that, during that 66 machine, Brian Harvey, Evan, got wicked loose coming off of turn 2, going down the backstretch, nearly making the same exact mistake that Eric Arnold made. This time Brian Harvey able to keep it off the wall, and this race will continue to stay green, but Harvey slipping about 6 to 7 spots there, as remember he was up in the top 10 earlier.
Yeah, for sure, and he still has a lot of time to make that up, but he finds himself in 30th, and there is right side and a little bit of left side, so front end damage on his Hot Wheels machine, which is probably a contributing factor. We got a big pack of cars out of 4 seat, 2-3 wide with a lap car. The 45 of Mike Montesi has to get around. The 65 is slow. That's Ed Williams Jr., a lap car, and it's been an adventure for these lead lap cars that are going too wide through 3 and 4 there to get around him, and that could have been big as some of those guys were forced to start ducking and weaving, coming off the corner and pushing it 3 wide just to get around him.
Yeah, and a track like Phoenix, you know, being 1 mile, it's so quick to put someone a lap down. In fact, like you just mentioned, well, the 43 machine, Stefan Marinac nearly losing it down the front stretch there, able to save it. Man, that could have been nasty. Mid-pack right there in front of that whole gaggle of cars that you mentioned. Oh, man, that could have been bad.
He's able to hang on to it, currently running in position number 25 out there on the racetrack. And again, just trying to log laps at this point. A little bit of a pass going on, 77 to J. Randall Watkins, 33rd spot, trying to get around Brian Harvey for position number 32. And John Abbott side by side with Douglas Wyatt behind them. So some good racing back here outside of the top 30 down the back now into turn 3.
And that Nathan Bowers making an unscheduled stop in that 03 car, just falling 2 laps down now here at Phoenix. And with that said, as we're continuing to run green, hopefully some green flag pit stops in about, I'd say 60-something laps or somewhere in there. When we return, hopefully we'll still be green here at Phoenix International Raceway. You're watching Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. We'll be back. And welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway, still under the green flag condition here. And more on that update on pit road. Kyle Taraska with the 03 car.
Yeah, guys, as you mentioned before the commercial break, Nathan Bowers with the unscheduled pit stop. Prior to that, entering turn 3, looked like he cut down a right front tire, got the wall really hard there, and since then is still on pit road, now 7 laps down. Looking at the car from the pit wall here, not too bad damage on the left side, but the extensive damage is on the right side of the car. The right front to the right rear is completely destroyed. Looks like the suspension is knocked out a little bit as well. Like I said, still on pit road now for 7 laps, getting the extensive damage repaired. Looks like it's going to be a long evening here for the 03 of Nathan Bowers.
Evan, we saw the 47 of Eric Arnold do it. We saw Brian Harvey nearly hit the wall and save it, but same issue there. And now we're hearing that the 03 Nathan Bowers collecting the wall. Is that just Phoenix racing for you?
Yeah, that's just this racetrack. It is when you go down there into the corner and get on the brakes, you got to slow that car down. There's a lot of time that you have to wait and think, and you got a time when you're going to pick that throttle back up, and it's very easy as a driver to overdrive that, try to get into gas a little bit too early, and once you realize you're going to get too close to the wall, there's not much you can do, and once you have that wheel turned all the way to the left, when you clip that wall, it bounces off. That's how you see these guys getting real loose. They might overcorrect it, spin that thing out. So just a product of this kind of track and the way that the racing is presenting.
As CJ LeVere continues to lead 38 laps here at Phoenix, he's got some lap traffic ahead of him, about 2 turns away. Stephen Herring in the 98 car being the closest one to being a lap down. Up ahead of him, Eric Arnold once again. Going to be close to going a lap down here. John Wilco just ahead as well. Jose Melbrand there as well, and Brian Harvey. Okay, all these guys really close to going a lap down. And CJ LeVere, Evan, I tell you, he's built a rocket ship, hasn't he?
He's doing solid right now in the number 4 machine, and last time by was faster than all the guys inside the top 5. So, I mean, the 4 machine definitely the fastest on the racetrack. We saw him, he kind of hung out maybe at that 5 or 6/10 of a second mark there for that lead, and next thing you know, he's advanced it to 2 seconds over Brundy's, and actually this time by the stripe going to be 2.1 seconds over the 94 machine in a second place car. So the 4 machine, CJ LeVere doing exactly what he does. It does appear, and we are getting a long green flag run. 41 laps have been run so far with only 1 yellow. So again, starting to approach what could be green flag pit stops coming up in maybe 20, 30 laps here or so. So 4 machine doesn't have a lot longer to go. Just one thing he needs to focus on is not overdriving that machine, wearing out his equipment, and ending up losing that gap that he's built up over the 94 of Brundy's right before they hit the pit lane.
Where's my driver? A lot of you folks are asking. Where's Chad Cole? Well, points leader Chad Cole had an early exit, the engine blown. He sits 43rd on the racetrack in the garage area. Not going to be able to come back out on the racetrack 33 laps down. He will finish 43rd. Chad Schilling, who is sitting tied second in points with Eric Brundy's. Chad Schilling is running on the racetrack 19th currently. And Eric Brundy's, how about this, Evan? Second spot on the racetrack right now. Second, well, tied second with Chad Schilling in points. But we're early. But we're early. We're early in the race, 43 laps in. You know, so a lot can happen. This is Phoenix. Remember, you got to keep all 4 corners well-rounded.
Yeah, just about a third of the way through this action right here as race leader CJ LeVere continuing to negotiate with his lap traffic as he just got around the number 31 machine of Eric Arnold and now goes around the 53 car to put him down 1 more lap. And you got to take a look at the amount of drivers right now. 37 guys remain on the lead lap, and actually this time by because LeVere's so fast up there, only 34 remain on the lead lap. So CJ LeVere knocking 3 or 4 guys off the lead lap just that 1 lap. That's something that these guys got to keep an eye on too, is there's no varying pit strategy to this extent in the race. So if a yellow comes out and you're not in that lucky dog spot, you're still going to come down pit lane. You're not going to be able to stay out and take a wave around. So these guys could get trapped 1 lap down, especially guys like J. Randall Watkins, Douglas Wyatt, who are over 20 seconds back, which means that your race leader CJ LeVere is about 5 seconds in his mirror.
Yeah, that's a spot you really don't want to be in, especially with this long green flag run that we've had. If you're one of those guys who either is not going to get lucky dog, you're going to have to stay out there and not pit just to get the wave around, you're going to be in a critical spot. And let's go down to Kyle real quick on pit road. Kyle, you know, we talked early on in the beginning of the broadcast about Phoenix being that type of track that reminds me, really, I know y'all are going to think I'm crazy, but Bristol. I mean, the tires are so important here, just like they are at Bristol. You can wear that right front down and that little dog leg in the back stretch there. Really, I think you can eat up the tire there as well, just turning it into that dog leg too hard. So let's talk tire strategy here. Are these guys going to come down here on this green flag pit stop that we may have here soon and take 4 tires, or are some of these guys going to take 2 tires for the track position?
No, at this point in the race, you have to imagine that the guy's going to take 4 tires. Just to give you an idea of what's going on with the tires right now, this has started a race. On the second lap of the race, our leader, CJ Levere, had his fastest lap time of a 26.79 lap time. His last time by, he ran a 27.771, over a second slower than what he was in the beginning of the race here. Second in racing is huge for a drop-off, and it's just not Levere that's experiencing it. And considering that he's our leader, the rest of the field is experiencing that tire wear as well on a much greater scale. We already saw what happened to the 03 of Nathan Bowers, cutting the tire and hitting the wall very hard in turn 3. Don't want to see any guys taking any chances right now. Expect 4 tires here, maybe within the next 10 to 15 laps.
Yeah, and Evan, look at battle right now for this 7th spot. The 1 car, Thomas J. George, Rhett McBride looking for some sort of room underneath him as they exit 4. Lacrosse is there. The 68 machine of Scott Simley really close behind as well. You can throw Scott Stencil into the mix. So those guys right there really pushing the dial of the car out here with these tires with the wear that they've got. Really racing hard here, but it's for position.
Yeah, these cars definitely don't have the handling that they did at the top of this run when he dropped the first green flag to get things kicked off here. And it's almost a risk versus reward at this stage of the race because, again, this track's so demanding on the drivers that they got to hit their marks every single lap or you're going to get run over pretty much. I mean, you can run out there for 20 some odd laps and pick up 1 spot after working real hard, but you can just make 1 bobble and lose 5 of them. So especially at times like this when you're coming to the end of a run, you know, the tires are as worn as they're going to be. They're real hot. The car's starting to get sideways in the corners. You got to be careful, but good luck telling a race car driver to not go for a gap when he sees it. And that's what you're seeing right now as these guys continue to just try to mess around with each other, see if they can force an error and try to pick up whatever spots they can.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We're still green flag racing here as the number 4 car of CJ Levere has led them from the get-go. He took the green flag. We went about 8 laps. We had a caution. He took us back to the green flag and really hasn't looked back since and has put somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 drivers down a lap, 9 drivers down a lap here at Phoenix, and he's done it pretty quick. Again, we're only 52 laps into the race. CJ Levere clicking them down here at Phoenix International Raceway. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking, presented by MW Productions. Hopefully here, pretty soon, we may have a halfway to finish here. Pit stop, green flag pit stops. These guys may try to cut this in half. Who knows? We'll find out when we return.
In a world where survival is the only rule and feelings have no place, where winning is everything and weakness is fatal, how much difference can one person make? That depends on the person. In every life, there is a line that cannot be crossed without leaving everything behind, except faith. Once that step is taken, there is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny. There is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny.
And welcome back, where we just had one possible scheduled pit stop. More on the update, Kyle Taraska.
Yeah, the 29 of Brennan Mercer's scheduled pit stop for him as the green flag cycle began here on lap 56. Just a routine 4-tire pit stop with loading up with fuel. Should be good to make it on fuel till the end of the distance. No other drivers have come down pit road as of yet since then. We're about 3 laps since that point. We're going to keep a close eye on pit road here. Green flag pit stops are going to really start wrapping up here at Pheonix International Raceway.
Yeah, Evan, what do you make of that? About 3 to 4 laps now completed, and we haven't seen another driver come down, but interesting strategy there nonetheless by the 29 of Brennan Mercer.
Yeah, and it definitely is a strategy call by Brennan Mercer and his team with a Gary Mercer Trucking Chevrolet, and you can see his machine is torn up. He's been running around towards the tail end of the field. Now someone's wrecking caution is out. The 91 of Gottschalk is around, and this could work out for Brendan Mercer. And Steve Gottschalk going to go around. Yellow flag is out, and he made contact with the 42, who just lost it off the corner, guys, for the second time this evening. One car just can't hang on at a 2, and we're under yellow.
And then the 91 of Steve Gottschalk running in that 13th spot, Evan. If you just look, I mean, there's nothing he can do. He doesn't see it coming, and that's really going to hurt him. And the 42 talking about taking a lick to the inside wall there, he really did. And I'm going to tell you something. Look at Jay Horton in that 83 car running 15th. Talk about the move, the hands move of the race award. Goodness gracious, just scraping by the 91 there.
He was able to avoid that, and now all the leaders coming down the pit lane to where Kyle is.
Yeah, we got the full field coming down here. Just a quick note, while the caution was out, the 33, David Lanza, he was already on pit road and committed. He ended up serving that pit stop fully, but I think he did lose a lap, but he should be able to get the wave around this time by. But leaders on pit road, got Lever, got the 94 there, of Brundys, Gonzalez, Cadell, Williams, everyone on pit road. Routine 4 tires for everyone. The one of Thomas J. George just pulled away. Going to see the leaders pulling out here now. Here comes Lever. He's going to win the battle off of pit road. Some slight contact there between the 26 of Gonzalez and the 94 of Brundys, but other than that, very smooth cycle here with pit stops. Everyone can make it on fuel from here.
Yeah, and how about that? Thomas J. George coming in 7th and getting out 4th.
Yeah, that was a solid pit stop for those guys. Looking for him to make some noise here in the second half. He looks like we're having also some trouble on the entry of pit road here as we see the lapped cars coming in. Trying to get a report on that, guys. I'm going to run down there, see what's going on.
Yeah, there was some a little bit of trouble there. Coming down under the yellow flag, Jay Horton in the 83 machine that we were talking about over the radio, saying he got all the way over to the left, but he was just parked in the dead middle of the pit road entrance, and the whole second half, the back half of this pack, guys, had to stop and really mess with their pit stops, and they really had no shot of gaining any positions.
Yeah, and it doesn't take, I was just watching too, it doesn't no time for this pace car to get around Pheonix here under the caution flag too. So that's something to think about too. You're on pit road for about, what, 13, 14 seconds? And Kyle, more on the update on the tragedy on pit road here.
Yeah, it looked like it was just like a lot of miscommunication between the 83 team of Horton, as well as the iRacing officials here, the RSR officials. Horton was just waiting for the rest of the field to catch up. As you all know, on the iRacing software, if you enter pit road before passing another car, or a car that's supposed to be ahead of you, you do get a black flag. So he actually stopped, waiting for that car, which was a lap car, to come back around on the outside to catch up with the rest of the field. By him doing that, really bunched out the field behind him. Looked like there was some contact back there in the field, but cause of the incident, as far as we know, the 83 of Horton was just waiting for the rest of the field to catch up, so he or no one else in the field got a black flag. But I do believe Kevin Linden in the 48 Lowe's car, he did get a black flag through that, but I'm going to check on that as well.
Yeah, and we're going to see if we can't get, well, I tell you what, I think we're, yeah, they threw the caution back out. I thought they were going to have to there. Race officials have thrown the caution here. We're not going to go green. Lights on the pace car. And yeah, I want to say that Ben Linden did get black flag there for speeding. But Kyle, that's just a hold you for like what, 10 seconds? It's not a pass through, right?
Yeah, but actually, I believe that that it would be a stop about 10 seconds. But the problem is that it's under green flag conditions, not under the caution conditions. And as we were talking about earlier, just with the tire fall off with CJ Levere, how those tires fell off to over a second from the beginning of the run with the tires. Well, if 1 second is big, imagine what 10 seconds would be, and that doesn't include a duration of driving down and exiting pit road. So it would be a major penalty for him. Not sure how the race officials are going to score this one right now, but as you said, Keaton, they threw a caution back out. Trying to sort through the order here, we're going to find out what exactly is going to happen before we go back green.
Yeah, and talk about tough pick. I mean, we just saw Scott Stencil get involved with that last wreck that we just had. Teammate to Kevin Linden. Now Kevin getting the pass-through black flag penalty for speeding out coming out of the pits. So, man, tough break for those two teammates. But I tell you what, the Ford Mustang pace car is going to take that famous left-hand turn back down pit road. And CJ Levere, who's led 66 laps now, is going to take us back to a rolling start green.
Yeah, the outside lane's going to check up with Guy Snyder having to get on the brakes. He started behind Jonathan Cadell in the 11 machine. To no surprise, Levere is able to run away with it side by side now for third. The 11 machine on the outside lane 1 is on the inside, down into turn number 3.
And folks, I forgot to mention the halfway point. We've passed the halfway point. We're now 67 laps this time by. As caution's back out, 67 laps out of 125. And there is a big pile-up parking lot in turn 4.
Something happened way up in front of these guys, and everybody had to get on the binders to try to slow down. And it's a parking lot in 3 and 4. And the one machine that I see sideways first is the 84 of Jimmy North. Looks like going down the back straightaway. Has to check up for the 78, moves up, gets into the 92, hooked around 22, 43, get a pylon into it. And since these guys were running in decent positions inside the top 20, they clogged the racetrack. 77, 98, 66, 33. All those guys that we've been talking about all night long going to pick up a little bit of damage because they just weren't able to slow down in time, and going to put us under the 30 yellow of the night, guys. Big trouble in 3 and 4, and a lot of fast cars going to get a piece of that one.
Yeah, and some of it may just be small cosmetic damage. I saw even Ryan Harvey, Evan, come in there and get maybe just a right fender rub into somebody there, but probably just a little bit of cosmetic damage. But like you said, some of these guys got even heavier damage, so now they're going to have to come down pit road and see if they can't repair those cars. And Kyle, they're going back to work on pit road, man. I tell you, they running out of sheet metal down there.
Well, I don't know if they're going to run out of sheet metal, but I think they're going to run out of their supply of hammers right now. A lot of hands are hurting down here at the crew members, as you see the 84 and the 88 on pit road. A lot of sheet metal to bang out here. 84 of Jimmy North's going to go up. Change the right side tires. I imagine change the left sides as well. Had a report that he flat spotted the tires trying to save the car there before he had bad contact there in the middle of 3 and 4. Tough break for him. Tough break for all those guys involved in the wreck. It was just circumstances, a racing deal is what we like to call it here in the sim racing community. Tough break for all of them, just the nature of that it's the second half of the race. It was just right after a restart. This is a tricky track, and it's go time, guys.
Yeah, and speaking of hurting hands, I gotta talk about something real quick. I just gotta bring it up. My man from the home state of Alabama, just outside of Talladega, newcomer into the ARCA series. I call him Joey Gatina because I'm from Alabama. That's how we Southerners say it, Gatina. And I tell you, guys, he had his first workout session today. You know, getting pumped up, in shape, you know, for the big ARCA series coming up for him and this and that. Throws up 3 times, guys. What do y'all think about that? He can't handle it. Tough, ain't it? You know, but here he is. This is what vacation's all about. Look, he has a bad day at the gym. He comes on, gets into the cockpit, and he's out here running. Right now he's running 29th, but Joey's got that quick car. He'll get that 14 Chevy up there to the front here later on. But it just shows you the dedication that goes into this. I mean, week in, week out, these guys have their lives, they have their jobs, they have their wives, they have their wives. I know some of these wives are out here looking. Look, these husbands dedicated into the racing service here, and appreciate to be on board with the RSR crew for the guess you could call it the second and a half year, almost 3 years rolling now with the RSR crew. And alongside with me tonight, Evan Pasoko, of course, part of the broadcast team, and Kyle Taraska working pit road for us, and of course MW. None of this could happen without MW. Michael Woolley, part of MW Productions, and getting ready to go back green here, Evan.
Yeah, we are getting doubled up and going to be looking for the green flag now as we worked out of actually a lot of drivers having a difference of opinion, we'll call it, over those last 2 cautions, but nonetheless getting set for another restart. CJ Lavera, Jose Gonzalez going to be making up that front row.
The Fearless Racing Chevy, the retro blue and the sunshine yellow, going to take us back to green with the man out of Puerto Rico, Jose Gonzalez, following in pursuit in second spot. He just can't catch him, can he? CJ's just too quick on the gas pedal.
He gets going on that restart, and then he's able to check out because he doesn't have that contest right there at the beginning, and there's no way that somebody like Jose could sneak around him, and that is because right here in the RSR, the way these restarts go is from the time that pace car hits the pit lane, the sim is going to throw the green flag once they reach the end of the restart box or the restart line. RSR, and as like many iRacing series, is the fact that the leader can control from when the pace car hits the pit lane to the time where the sim throws the green flag, so he can, play a little bit of head games, mess around with these guys, take off exactly what he wants to, and is able to take advantage of that.
Single file all the way back to 22nd position, where David Lanza just put the 48 car in the rear view mirror as they go down the front stretch, just ahead of that pack though. 83 in the 20. The 83 car of Jay Horton, and 22 also coming down pit road. Kyle?
Yeah, not really sure what's going on right here. I believe the 83, he might have had some damage from when he stopped on pit road earlier. Looked like it might have just been a stop and go for him, maybe serving a penalty. Not really sure what happened with the 83 or the 22. I'm going to try to get a report on that, but in the meantime, got a good battle for the lead up here.
Yeah, the 66 of Harvey down there as well on pit road, but yeah, great battle for the lead up here. Actually, Jose Gonzalez is closing in the gap. Evan, just ever so slightly. Now, folks, when I say ever so slightly, I mean about what, 6, 7, 8 car lengths there. Jose Gonzalez, nonetheless, running second here at Pheonix.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's sitting just over 0.4 of a second back right now in his ITSR Chevrolet, as well as CJ Lavere in the ITSR racing machine, also up at the front of the field. CJ Lavere has obviously been the class of this field so far up to this point, and we are well past the halfway point and starting to approach what is now 49 laps to go, this time by the start-finish line for CJ Lavere. Lavere looking to put on what is a dominating performance, to say the least, entering tonight 12th in the championship standings after walking away 13th when it was all said and done at Daytona. And I'm sure he has no issue locking himself into the chase. If you guys remember back to 2013, CJ Lavere was one of those guys up there in the top 3 trying to battle for that title.
Yeah, I tell you, guys, folks, if you're out there watching right now and you like what you see, you like the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, they run every Monday night at 9:30, 8:30 Central Time. And of course, I believe they're still accepting. I'm not sure. John Abbott or Joey Catena will have to get with me after the race and hold me down and keep me from saying it. But I think they're still taking applications. And now, of course, every race is broadcasted, even the chase races. Segment 1 consists of 7 races, and you can get in for as little as $21. And of course, that includes 7 broadcasted races, a chance to win money and prizes, and that sort of thing. Segment 2 also 7 races for 7 broadcasted events, $21. And then you can also get into Segment 3's events. That's 8 races for $24. And Segment 4, which is the finale, I guess you could call it the last 10 races of the season, is $30. And Kyle with an update here on pit road. Kyle?
Yeah, still trying to figure out what was up with the 83 Horton pit in there, but I do have a report on the 22 with John Milwain. Remember, he was involved in that last incident with Jimmy North with the big pileup on the restart in the middle of 3 and 4. Really hard, bad extensive damage there on the 22 machine. Just couldn't really drive the car, could not keep up with the minimum speed that the RSR officials put in place here for Pheonix. And he had to come back down pit road, had to get some of that damage fixed, but it was just too much for the team to overcome. I think a lot of it had to do with the points racing the way it is now. If you win a race, you're in. They really had no chance anymore to win this race this afternoon. The 22 at John Milwain is officially done for the evening.
Yeah, and Evan, I want to mention, I mentioned the prizes that these guys can win. There's bracket battles, and I think this is what makes this league so fun too. The 4 different sets of races that I mentioned, each of those has a bracket battle where if you finish first place, you can get $50. If you finish second, 30. Third place, 20. So basically, if you finish in the top 3 out of one of those brackets, you're going to make your money back plus then some. You can take your wife out to Applebee's. All right. Then a random driver that completes 90% of the laps from that for that segment will be entered into a random drawing and will be given a free entry into the next segment for 1, 2, or 3. And then on top of all this, everybody, on top of all this, guys, you can. There's 4 races called the Mercer 100s. We already had one. Chad Cole won it, and that was the Prestige race. Charlotte is the next one, May 19th. That's the longest race of the season. Brickyard 175, July 28th, the historic venue race where they kiss the bricks. And Talladega, my home track, the Talladega 224 on October 20th, the fastest race on circuit. And they can win upwards of $100. Oh, and we got the 42 Scott Stencil blowing up on the racetrack.
Yeah, 42 is blowing up down the front straightaway, and the guys behind him called that out as he was running on the lead lap, caught the wall out of 4, pounded the inside wall, and came back up, pounded the outside wall, and somehow everybody is able to get around it. But the 42 machine, smoking with heavy damage, Scott Stenzel, going to come down the pit lane. Also another update, Eric Arnold in the 31 machine, who we saw damaged earlier on in the go, and he has also taken his car behind the wall that are done as well.
Yeah, and that's just a tough break. And I also see the 60 car, 62 car, John Wilco coming down pit road now, 1 lap down. Not sure if that's scheduled or not. 85 laps into the race here. And you got to wonder if the right fronts are starting to wear down a little bit. Have we seen the last caution here, Evan?
You're going to have to think, when it comes from the fact that 50% of the incidents that we've seen so far have started with one car. It hasn't been contact, so it doesn't matter if these guys are spread out. The longer we go, again, these guys are most likely able to make it to the finish here on fuel-wise. That means the tires are going to get really pushed to the maximum that they can. They're going to be as worn as they can, as heated up as they can. You mentioned the right front. You don't want to drive that off of the car for sure. But coming down to it, you see a guy up there maybe 2 tenths in front of you. You're going to try to give it a little bit more. Catch the wall. It's very easy to go around here. Very easy to see a caution like we normally see. Is that as we see the great green flag racing that they're presenting with us right now, but it comes down to it, a string of cautions at the end to really group these guys up. So if I was the 4 machine of CJ Levere, I'm sure he's loving where he is right now. Again, 8 tenths of a second out in front of Jose Gonzalez now, who is running in the number 2 position. But I don't think you can count on going green to the end. It's possible, but the way that the racing has been so far, the way this racetrack likes to eat away cars, especially on the corner exit, we've seen it multiple times off of 2 and 4. I just don't think we'll be able to do it.
I see now the 33 car, 25th spot, David Lanza coming down pit road, possible green flag pit stop. So, Evan, I think even the crew chiefs are getting the word to the drivers that, hey, this is going to stay green for a little bit, but I don't think it's going to stay green to the end. And, in fact, Kyle, with an update, I think I just seen that Chevy roll in to the garage area of David Lanza.
Yeah, for the 33 of Lanza. I'm going to get a report on that as he just officially he is done for today here.
Yeah.
42 is Scott Stenzel. He's done as well. I'm actually chasing down Scott Stenzel right now to try to get an interview. Gonna get a report on that in just a couple of minutes.
Well, I'll tell you what, while Kyle Taraska pedals up and down pit road, me and Evan are gonna go grab a hot dog from the concession stand, and we're gonna go say hey to Michael Woolley to make sure the buttons and keyboard still works. You're watching Pheonix International Raceway, the famous 1-mile racetrack in the desert. It's not too hot, it's 78 degrees, don't worry. We're going to get some more suntan lotion, though, I'll tell you that. Me and Evan in the break. We're going to come right back, and hopefully, maybe, we'll still be under the green and see possible some green flag stops and see who can pull off the upset. Can someone take this number 4 car down, or will he make history with a Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series and lead every single lap? We'll find out when we return.
Hi, I'm Todd Malmstrom, driver of the 75M Ford Mustang GT. This is what I do by night. And this is what I do by day. I sell new Fords, and I've got the best selections of used inventory that you could ask for. Come see me down here at Central Ford.
Are you tired of getting hassled at the dealerships? Looking for a salesman that knows what he's talking about? Are you looking to buy a new or used car? Then look no further! Sexton Ford Moline, Illinois has the biggest selection of new or pre-owned vehicles, and Todd Malmstrom is the salesman you want. Todd is an expert when it comes to cars, and if you don't believe me, then you should see him race on a Sunday night. With his top-notch professional customer service and expertise, he will make sure you go home in the right car for the right price. No hassle, no haggling. Todd will make sure that you're happy when you leave the lot with your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, Sexton Ford may be the talk of the town, but so is Todd Malmstrom. If you're in the market for a new ride, then buy one from a winner. Todd Malmstrom at Sexton Ford Moline.
And welcome back to Pheonix International Raceway, where we're still under the green flag running conditions. 93 laps complete. The man out front, the number 4 car, C.J. Levere, second. Jose Gonzalez, Eric Bundy's third. Jonathan Cadell, the Air Force Cadet, fourth. Thomas J. George with a great run tonight in that number 1 machine. He's fifth. Guy Steiner, sixth. Brett McBride in 27th. Scott Simley running in the top 10 currently. 8th spot. Matt Lacrosse, Fearless Racing teammate to C.J. Levere, running 9th. And Mark Bratcher, the Catfish Man, running in the top 10 in that 17 Chevy.
The story right now to this race is definitely the dominance of that guy sitting up there in the number 1 spot, C.J. Levere. And you talk about it, we went over the results from last week at Daytona, and that is Chad Cole leading 30 laps. Second place, or leading the most laps-wise, is Matt Lacrosse, his teammate. He led 20, so the Fearless Racing guys definitely strong at Daytona. But this is really the first race where you can have a dominant car. Daytona, it's all about how you work the draft. You gotta shuffle with these guys. And again, C.J. Levere, an absolutely dominating performance, and it's his to lose at this point. Last time by the stripe, he took 25 to go as he gets real close to the 43 machine, a lap machine trying to work his way around him of Stefan Marinak, putting him his first lap down, leaving 25 machines on the lead lap.
And I tell you what, Kyle just caught up with probably disappointed 42 machine of Scott Stencil, who started out really good, great qualifying run, Kyle, you caught up with him? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I just caught up with the driver to number 42 Yellow Stripes TV Chevrolet of Scott Stenzel. Scott had some trouble down there on the front stretch, it looked like, and engine didn't cooperate with you. Looks like you're done for today. Tell us what happened.
Tires a little bit, and the one time when I got loose and I needed a little bit of room, the 91 was there, and I don't think he saw me coming down to take up that real estate, and it got me in a self-spin. And I'm sorry for him getting to him and bringing out the caution, because we had an awesome run there. It was a great green flag run, and then the wreck on the front switch, just the handling went away after that spin, and you know, a lot of damage, and it's just frustrating. It's unfortunate we had to put it behind the wall so quick.
Well, it's unfortunate again to see you, Scott, behind the wall tonight after a solid run last week at Daytona, but looking forward to see you run at Las Vegas next week.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it too. This is actually one of my worst tracks, so I got that one out of the way. You know, Kyle Busch hates Kansas, and he wrecks at every one of those, and I think I wreck 10 for 10 so far going to Phoenix. So I'm looking forward to Las Vegas, guys. Thanks for having me.
And a little bit of humor out of the 42 driver, Scott Stenzel, and guys had a little bit of trouble outside of turn 2 with the 35 of Chad Schilling just off of turn 2.
Yeah, it's always good to hear humor after something like that in a race like this. You know, 2 weeks into the long race there, as you mentioned, Chad Schilling, a little bit of trouble, but able to gather it back up. I was trying to hunt down a car that has made the most positions gained in the race so far. And while we're trying to check on that, let's go down to Kyle Nebraska once more. Kyle, what an update on how everything's going and how everyone's racing.
Yeah, while I was standing there with Scott Stenzel during the commercial break waiting for an interview to come back, I did a little bit of research thinking about what happened to Chad Cole and Scott Stenzel, 2 guys that finished top 5 at Daytona last week. Tonight is not a great night for top 5 points contenders. As we already mentioned, Chad Cole was out in lap 6. Scott Stenzel just had that bad luck with the blown engine down the front straightaway. He's out for tonight. But the 94 of Eric Rundy's really making a statement right now. He's running in a 4th position right now, solid top 5 all night. He came into the race 3rd in points, and I think he might run away with the points as of right now. Also, Chad Schilling, we just mentioned him. He just had some trouble there off of turn 2. He's running in 12th position right now, barely hanging on. And a 21 of Matt Lacrosse, who came into this race 4th in points. A quiet but solid top 10 effort for him all day here, with just 20 laps or so to go. He's running in a 9th position right now, looking for another consistent outing.
Excellent report there from Kyle Nebraska. Now a good bit of where the top 5 run currently on the track. I love it. And Evan, I'm telling you something, man. CJ LeVere is putting on a clinic at Pheonix.
Yeah, and he's taking it conservative to an extent at this point in the race into the Before machine. He was able to really run away with it, get up to a 2nd lead from Jose Gonzalez in at number 26 sitting P2, and he's kind of leveled off there, so you got to imagine the 4 machine just doesn't want to overdrive it. He's going to take a little bit more time getting around the lap traffic at this point in the race to make it to the finish. As this time by the start-finish line, he is going to come by to take lap number 111, 15 laps to go at the Phoenix International Raceway for CJ LeVere, and again, running lap time still equal to or faster than Jose Gonzalez, as Gonzalez snook it out there by 0.02 of a second the last time by. But I think CJ LeVere is just in closing mode, just wants to make it to the checkered flag in this race. Possibility of a caution is still not out the window, but it's looking like it is going to be the 4 machines race.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The caution flag not out the window quite yet. Now, we've ran some really good green flag laps here, and that really sometimes to me indicates the caution coming out, because you got these guys on those tires are starting to push. We may see those guys come on turn 2. What did Eric Earl do? What did Ryan Harvey do? What did the 03 do? Hit that ball a little bit, come back down and spin her out? Who knows? But for now, we're under the green flag condition. I want to thank Jason White for joining us in the broadcast tonight, Jason. And also at Burge from I wouldn't say that. I don't want to say that that's his birth year, 1923. I don't know if you call, but we appreciate you guys coming in here and everyone else watching the stream here tonight on MW Productions, watching the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking, and we're continuing to count them down.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time left in this evening's event here at Pheonix, and we've seen our fair share of the exciting and green flag racing for sure. Very impressed in this 200-kilometer race as we start to close in on that checkered flag, and then we start to look forward to next week once things get wrapped up here. But can C.J. LeVere in the number 4 machine end up walking away with this victory here this evening and make it back-to-back for Fearless Racing in this 2014 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series presented by Gary Mercer Trucking season? That would also make a big statement on the strength of that team including obviously Chad Cole, Matt Lacrosse, C.J. LeVere, Douglas Wyatt, Doug Roth, and Brian Harvey as well.
Let's go back here to the 19th spot where the 91 Steve Gottschalk runs. Remember him and Scott Stencil got into it a little bit, but look at the 92 of Jason Lester, man, I'm telling you, and that Ford car, a little Ford versus Chevy action in turn 4 there. Now the 33 orange and black car you see is the 53 car of Jose Malmoran is a lap down. The 41 car, Nathan Little, is also a lap down. So the big race here for the 19th spot with Jason Lester at 92. The 91 belonging to Steve Gottschalk as he now opens up the door.
Yeah, just up in front of them, side by side, 45 machine of Mike Montesi on the outside lane. John Abbott on the inside, working now through turns number 1 and 2. 10 machine with the advantage on the inside lane. They remain side by side, and 45 has the slight edge. Mike Montesi on the outside lane. Can he clear John Abbott? He does into 3.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I've been watching that race battle about 6 to 7 laps now, and John Abbott just getting closer down to that spot where he just couldn't gain any side by side there, and John Abbott couldn't pull the trigger. Here he is again, trying to wind up Mike Montesi just ahead. There he goes. There's the 10 car, digging a little bit, about half of our length now, separates the 2 as they go down the dog leg here at Pheonix, with closing under 10 laps to go now.
Within 10 laps to go, this thing is coming down to it, and C.J. LeVere just has to knock off at least 2 or 3 more circuits, and if a yellow flag were to fly and he is not the cause of it, he's going to be walking away with a victory in the Full Throttle Cup Series. A great way to start off not only his season, but to continue the dominance of the Fearless Racing team after Chad Cole, who has been carrying the banner for that team so far this season, walking away with the Daytona win, is 111 laps down, very dead last, 43rd after that tragic incident there early in the race, losing the engine on that machine and unfortunately unable to get what he wanted to do. Jose Gonzalez is in no position as of now to fight as LeVere taking 5 laps to go. Gonzalez in a number 2 spot, 1.4 seconds away from race leader C.J. LeVere in second, and another 1.3 seconds back from Jose, and almost 3 seconds back from C.J. is that car in number 3 spot, the 11 of Jonathan Cadell. So really nobody in a battling position to battle with each other right now inside of the top 5, just trying to run this thing out to the checkered flag.
Yeah, and directly behind the 11 car of Jonathan Hill is the 94 machine of Eric Runnels, again running a solid top 5 finish. He's in 4, about 3 seconds ahead of number 1 Thomas J. George, who runs 5th. But Eric Runnels from that Schroeder Races team ran 2nd to Chad Cole last week. Remember that impressive finish? Eric Runnels coming to the line there. And I'll tell you, Eric did a great job finishing 2nd. And you know what? I think I got that confused. I think the photo finish was from the TSR race back Tuesday night. But Eric Runnels, nonetheless, you can't take 2nd away from him. He did finish 2nd last Daytona Monday night in the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. But it wasn't in as dramatic fashion as that ITSR race on Tuesday night. Folks, if you missed it, You need to go check it out on YouTube. It's up. It's also on the RSR Facebook, or the ITSR Facebook, excuse me. You can go back, check that replay out. Photo finish. Enough about that, though. We're winding it down here. About 3 laps to go. CJ LeVere going to make 2014 Full Throttle Cup Series history with leading every single lap. But I don't want to jinx him just quite yet.
Well, he's coming off of turn number 4. Goes low to get around the 84 at Jimmy North. White flag is in the air for CJ LeVere after coming home in the unlucky number 13 spot at Daytona, trying to close it off. It is ITS Racing ACS Sanitary Solutions Chevrolet. That's a mouthful. The Fearless Racing in 3 and 4 looking for that W.
And I'll tell you what, the 4 machine will win it. He'll win it. He got across the line. I was trying to find him at the last second, and just as I did, he passed the checkers. And CJ LeVere is going to lead 125 laps at Pheonix. And what a clinic he puts on.
Jose Gonzalez comes home in second, 0.3 of a second behind CJ LeVere. LeVere had a lot of traffic around him coming from about 1.5 laps to go in this thing for the final 1.5 miles around this racetrack, trying to be conservative, and he was able to use that gap that he had to an advantage of his and not have to put himself in a tricky spot as he's able to cruise home with a dominating performance for CJ LeVere. You see the 21 machine, his teammate Matt Lacrosse, come up to the front straightaway as he's going to burn it down to congratulate him. But a dominating performance will deserve CJ LeVere your winner at the Pheonix International Raceway in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series for the Pheonix 200K.
And as the thumb comes out the window to celebrate with the burnouts, we're going to take a quick commercial break, have the top 10 finishers to see where they finished. And then we'll, of course, have the top 3 in the booth with us here. As far as Pheonix International Raceway is concerned, CJ LeVere puts on the clinic, puts on the show. We're going to step away, take a quick commercial break. When we return, we'll see how CJ LeVere feels about it.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
And welcome back to Phoenix International Raceway, where CJ LeVere puts on the show. 125 laps in the books, 125 laps led. Third place finisher was Jonathan Caddell, who's just caught up with Kyle Taraska.
Yeah, I'm down here on pit road talking to the 11 car of Jonathan Caddell. Caddell, congratulations on your podium finish tonight. A solid top 5 effort, but I don't think anyone had anything for the 4 car LeVere.
No, I don't think they did either, man. He had it going on tonight. I made it up as far as I could, but once I got up there to third, Jose and CJ, they were gone. I guess I used up all my stuff, or maybe they were just that much better than me.
Talk about the tire wear tonight. We saw a lot of guys have right front tire issues. Track seemed to be a little bit slick even with the cloud cover. How important were tires, especially on the restarts?
Tires were very important. I was one of the only guys to pit there that first caution, and I got all the way back to 19th, and just because I had newer tires, I was able to make my way back up to 4th for that second caution came out. So they were definitely very important tonight.
Well, once again, congratulations on your podium finish tonight. It looks like the way how things are going to shake out, you're going to move up into the top 5 in points after a solid run last week at Daytona. Jonathan, any sponsors you'd like to thank tonight?
I'd like to thank Gary Mercer Trucking for sponsoring the series, and my sponsor, strutmasters.com, and everyone over here at Real Sim Racing.
Right on, and once again, Jonathan, congratulations. Third place finish tonight, the strutmasters.com Chevrolet SS. Guys, we're going to send it back up to you.
And workout up down here on the pit lane with the second place finisher Jose Gonzalez going to come home in his number 26 machine, only 0.3 of a second, but it came down to it behind CJ LeVere. Jose, talk us through those final few laps. We know that CJ up at the front of the field had a little bit of a buffer, so he was able to get around that lap traffic a lot easier.
Yeah, he had a bunch of time, like a second and a half in front of me, so you know, we were just trying to keep our spots and survive. As long as we didn't get into, there was a lot of traffic, and for the most part, everybody was pretty good with us and letting us by on the inside. So, you know, it could get a little hairy with lap traffic, but you know, we did survive 1 and 2, and I'm very happy for CJ. He had a great win and solid speed.
Talk us about this racetrack. Some can almost call it the first race of the season. Daytona always being a shootout. Coming in tonight, we saw a lot of incidents with guys not only off 2, but also coming off of turn 4, getting loose, catching the outside wall, and going around. Did you have any close calls? You know, talk us through what the car was doing off those corners.
Well, actually, first of all, I was really glad to get out here and race in Phoenix, because I mean, I just have no luck in Daytona and Talladega. I just it seems that at least last year in the Full Throttle Cup, if I didn't get wrecked by somebody, I would get a top 5 usually. So you know, I got wrecked last week, and I was dying to get here and you know, get control of my own destiny. So yeah, the track, I had a different line than CJ. That's a cool thing here, and you can race the outside and you can race the inside. I was more of an inside guy. I had a line lower than CJ. The only issue for me would be getting loose off exit. Turn 2, that could get a little hairy there if you snapped on the throttle, but I tried to just coast it and not slam on the throttle and save my left rear tire, which is the one that usually got the most wear. So there you go.
And definitely, what are you looking forward to next week? Obviously, coming off a top 2 finish this evening, obviously you're going to be looking for a win to try to get yourself locked into the Chase Fitter Championship. But what are your expectations going into Vegas?
All 1.5s. I really enjoy. I'm racing all those cookie cutters in Vegas and California, Atlanta, all those tracks. I think that's the tracks I'm the best at, and but seems Vegas every year is different with the updates and the track, and sometimes there's just one line to race. Sometimes it's the high line, sometimes it's the low line. So I haven't even tried it yet this year. So I'm looking forward to testing and see what's gonna come up.
And definitely, we're taking a look at your number 26 machine, the ITS Racing Chevrolet. Any other sponsors and shout-outs you want to throw out there? Who makes it happen for you and the crew?
Hippie's Paint Shop. We're on Facebook. We paint cars. The Meatball Company in Puerto Rico. Best meatballs in Puerto Rico. And again, congratulations to CJ. Great win.
And definitely 10-4, but congrats again on the top 2 finish, and we look forward to seeing what you can do in Vegas next week.
I'll see you next week.
Guys, it is the driver of the 26 machine, Jose Gonzalez, going to come home with the top 2 at Pheonix.
And sitting here in victory lane with CJ Lavera, I don't think the smiles could get any wider. CJ, 125 set to go tonight at Pheonix. You let them all.
Unbelievable. Got to thank the crew chief and all the practice laps. I turned about 1,000 laps here this week just in practice. That's what made the difference. We just ran a lot of laps and learned a lot of stuff, and got to thank the team. Got a big team, and we run a lot. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be running out front like that.
I almost hate to do it, CJ, but let's go back to Daytona, where you started 6th and somehow ended up 13th after everything mixed up. You led a couple of laps, but not as near as much as you led here tonight at Pheonix. But 13th at Daytona, and then you come here, you get the win, you're in the chase as long as you can maintain that top 30 position in points all through the year. But 13th to 1st, I mean, that's an improvement, but even 13th at Daytona is great. You're starting off, on the right foot, CJ.
Yeah, last year we didn't start off on the right foot, and we knew we needed to have a strong showing. Daytona, we were there, coming out of 4, we were in 2nd. We just unfortunate at Daytona, and we just move on and get past Daytona. That's one of those throw a coin and maybe you're going to get it, maybe you're not. We knew we were actually kind of worried about here at Pheonix with Chad, and he got taken out early, and after that I just knew I didn't look in my mirror anymore, and I dropped the hammer and just kept going. I didn't worry about who was behind me, how far they're behind me. I just ran that car every lap as hard as I could.
Starting out on the right foot at Daytona, right foot here at Pheonix. Will the left foot get ahead of you going into Vegas next week?
Like Jose, I'm a 1.5 guy. I really can't even believe I won here tonight and was this good. It's not normally our tracks. We're better on, Chicago. We're actually looking forward to Vegas. We run pretty good there, Charlotte, Atlanta. So I think we'll have a pretty good program, and we're going to leave here. The cars are already at Vegas. So I'm going to fly over and start practicing.
I heard that, man. And of course, last but not least, man, every week in, week out, who makes it happen for that 4 machine?
Well, first off, we got to thank RSR for putting this together, and our sponsor, Gary Mercer's Trucking. Without them, we wouldn't have a series here at RSR, and I got to thank them. Got to thank Hippie's Paint Shop and Axel Sanitary for sponsoring my ride, and ITSR. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And got to thank my team, Fearless Racing, and Jose and all the guys. Obviously, our program's together, and we're doing good. Got to thank MW Productions for all the awesome support and all the video and great video, and you guys for the broadcast. And there's just so many people, I could go on and on and on, but thank everybody that helps out here.
You heard from the 11 machine of Jonathan Goodell. You heard from the man out of Puerto Rico, the 26 of Jose Gonzalez, and of course, history-making man CJ Lavera tonight, leading every lap here at Pheonix for the first time here in the RSR Full Throttle Cup Series. Kyle on pit road tonight. Any final thoughts?
It was a fantastic race. Cleaner race than I expected. middle portion of the race there, we saw a couple of cautions there. The old cautions breed cautions saying came into effect. But overall, a great race. Outstanding performance with the 4 team of CJ LeVere. I don't think of all my years on the sim racing I've ever seen anyone lead wire to wire in such a competitive and prestigious race. So good for those guys, and really looking forward to races next week in Las Vegas.
Evan, was Phoenix as hot as you thought it was going to be?
The sun wasn't breaking through, guys, because it was cloudy out there, but the racing was hot. They were going side by side, 3 wide, and an absolutely dominating performance by CJ LeVere. Well-deserved win.
Absolutely. And for me, Michael Keaton, Evan Pasoko, and Kyle Taraska and Michael Woolley at MW Productions. Let's go roll the dice in Vegas next week with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. We'll see you next Monday night.
DGVertec.net's primary goal is to provide you with a successful website presence. They have purpose-built their web servers successfully throughout the years. The stress testing has been done so that they can provide you with an enhanced web hosting technology that they design for using future standards today for tomorrow. They offer 24/7 support for all web hosting plans. Their team answers support tickets 24/7, so if you have a problem at any time, an agent will be more than happy to help you. If you're not satisfied with your service within 7 days, then you can get a full money-back guarantee, with a 99 uptime guaranteed as well, with plans for shared hosting starting at just $2.95. It's clear to see why DGVertec should be your choice for web hosting. Just go to www.dgvertec.net today, your web hosting solution.